Hello, everyone. Good morning. Good morning. Welcome to this broadcast. This is my No Guts, No Story. And I do this every Saturday morning at 9 a.m. So those of you that are tuning in, you're used to probably being on with me every Saturday morning. If you're just coming on, let me know that you're on. I love seeing all the comments. And if you're watching the replay, please say watching the replay. So welcome everybody. I'm so excited to be on with all of you and super excited about the weekend. Drop in the comments if you have any awesome plans for this weekend, what you're gonna be doing. Let me know, is it warming up or getting cooler where you are? Today the high here is 70, it's sweater weather, yay! I love fall. How many of you love fall and you're so glad we're saying goodbye to summer? When you are a redhead, freckle-faced, fair-skinned girl, you love the fall when you can cover everything up, some boots, some scarves. I love fall and winter. So today, I was inspired this week. We were driving, and I think Dave was listening to a Denzel Washington, maybe Penn State graduation. I don't know what it was, but it was so good. I was literally taking notes like a mad woman, forwarding it to all of my kids. And I was just so inspired. So I took some notes, and sometimes I'm afraid to really express what I would say is my advice to all of you, because I don't want you to leap and I say, the net will appear. And then some of you are like, I'm splat on the sidewalk. I mean, I'm not going to lead somebody to the wolves or tell them to go jump in shark infested waters. But so many people are playing it safe. They never use their gifts. They never take a risk. They're so afraid that they're going to fail. They're OCD about every little detail before they can even take a little bit of action. And unfortunately, I don't have any of those in me. I never worry about all of it. I just go. When I have an intuition, I go. Now, I am a person that's very conservative, and I do look at things and be skeptical. I have to tell you, I've been the dream stealer in everything Dave's ever tried, because I definitely don't want to learn the lessons. You know what they say, like, if life lessons keep showing up to you, it's because you haven't learned them yet. And I would say that that's me when it comes to the one thing that I would say I am very safe about is money. Because the reality is, when you have failed, you learn the lesson, you get the conditioning, you don't want to go do that again. And so I'm crazy good on that side. But the other side, I think, is people that are worried about what other people might think. They might rock the boat a little bit. Their boss is going to be sad if they want to work somewhere else. Their partner is going to be, heartbroken if they want to go out and do their own business instead of being maybe you're an accountant and you're in a firm, or maybe you're an attorney and you're in a firm, or maybe you're a dance instructor and you're the best dance instructor at the school and you would love to have your own dance school, but you don't want to hurt the feelings of the lady that you work for, right? So crazily, I had 2 dance students or people within my dance academy that went and started great big, studios. And one of them bought 2 of my studios, and she's doing an amazing job, or one in another town. And so, you've got to be excited for people that are in your circle when they do something, and stop stealing their dream. And then you yourself got to get excited about your own circle. What are your gifts, your goals, your dreams, your talents, the things that God puts in your heart, and then you're like, I should do that. And that's what I wanted to talk to you guys about today. The one thing I took away from the Denzel Washington speech that we listened to, he said, people are always like, well, you should get your education so you can fall back on that. And I loved what he said. He said, never give me anything that I'm going to fall back on, because if I'm falling, I want to fall forward so I can at least see what I'm going to be falling on. And, it took me back to my hairdresser days. I know Cindy's watching. Good morning, Cindy. I remember when Dave and I were, running 5 businesses, and Dave had a new dream and a new goal. And I mean, I was excited about it, but I didn't want to fail. And I was cutting hair, teaching dance, running a gift store. We had an antique and gift gallery, 60 consigners that brought all their beautiful handmade, everything from wreaths to wood carvings to furniture. And Dave refinished antique furniture. Well, I remember when we failed forward in the biggest way. We were in a bankruptcy. Yep, we went bankrupt. Our cars were being repossessed. Yep, the truck came, hauled them right out of my driveway in front of God and everybody. Utilities were not just late notice, they were shut off. I went to the beauty shop to do a perm and had only cold water. And you can only say your hot water heater's going out for so many days, and then people go find somewhere to get their hair done that has warm water, right? So we failed forward in a big way, but I found a better way. I found a way that I truly believed that Dave and I could accomplish all of our dreams and goals. And when I found it, we were at a point where we were so broke. I had a cosmetology license, and all I had to pay was $79 to renew it. I didn't have to go back and take a test. I didn't have to go to the state board, anything, just pay the license. And I remember being in our new business saying, should I spend this $79 to renew my license just in case we fail, or should I use it to build my new business? And many of you know the story. I don't have a cosmetology license anymore because I didn't pay the $79 so I could fall back on doing hair. And let me tell you why. Because in my heart, I wanted something bigger. If I took every ounce of my being and I were to cut hair, do nails, whether it was facials, whatever I could do, I could only do maybe 10 hours a day being a mom, right? Some days I did 12, 8 to 8. Some days I did 7 to 7. I probably always did a 12-hour day, just being honest. But 12 hours a day, let's say that I was doing a perm. And I knew if I did this spiral perm, it took 3 hours, and I could charge $100 to $150 for all this long hair. Well, that's 3 hours for $150. That meant I could make $50 an hour. But I was being mentored by people that were making $31,000 a month, which meant that they made $1,000 a day, which meant that I no longer wanted to be a $50 an hour person. I wanted to be a $100 an hour person. But it was scary, guys. Let me tell you why. I'm a C student at best because I barely went to school enough to graduate. I was an entrepreneur. I would leave school to go get my baton lessons planned because I taught twirling after school. I would leave school to go help my mom with the kids because my mom was a single mom and I was the oldest of 5, and there was a 3-year-old all the way up to a freshman in high school when I was a senior. I mean, I wasn't the girl sitting in school learning the book saying, I want to graduate top 10 in my class. I was just going to be happy if I just graduated so I could get on with my life and go do something big. I can remember trying to focus and read a book and reading it like, I'm going to focus. I'm going to read this book. And reading 2 pages and Mr. Underwood looking at me, whether we were doing mythology. Mr. Underwood was my teacher. I saw him yesterday on Main Street. Cutest little guy in the world, still running around. He said, tell me what you just read. And I was like, I don't know, because my little scribblehead brain had 25 other things going on it, and it wasn't mythology. I was like, why do we have to learn about these gods? And then we would do, Romeo and Juliet or To Kill a Mockingbird or whatever it was. And if I could watch the movie, I might be able to figure it out. But still to this day, I could not focus in school. I was a C student. I tried to take algebra. Right away, I remember Mr. Shank telling me, you're going to struggle with this. I think you should just get in general math. And general math, I think I got a C, but in my mind, I was like, why do I want to learn how to do all this math if I could just hire somebody to do the math and accounting? Because I wanted to make big moves. And you guys, I see this. I have a little nephew that has ADHD, and he's going to find his way and he's going to kill it. I know he is. This week, I helped him get ready to start his own business. And he's been trying to figure out what to do. He tried to work at Walmart, hated it. They always put him in the freezer. He was at UPS, but that was seasonal. He tried college. That wasn't really for him. And then, people might be labeling him, but I see that he's creative. He has the biggest heart in the world. He loves to help people and make them happy. He would be great at rescuing a bunch of dogs. He loves his dogs. He's got a lot of great qualities. Maybe school isn't one of them. You know, everybody want to say this and that and the other about all of your relatives or friends or family that don't do what you do. But here's the news flash. They're not supposed to do what you do because they're not living your life, and God gives them their own gifts, right? I was a girl that didn't go to college. I was a girl that couldn't even got accepted into a big college. I was going to go to a dancing school in Pueblo, Colorado. I was going to get my associate's degree in like a business that I could run my own dance school. I was going to try to make it on Broadway. I knew I could dance. I knew I was creative. I could write poetry. I could dance. I could make crafts. I could paint. I could do things like that. But I definitely was not the smart girl in school. So common sense, yes. A lot of really smart people lack that. Taking a risk, dreaming, yes. I would have got an A in that. Speech, I could get an A in that. I was the chatterbox duck. Always in trouble, always talking, always trying to put me in a box, always trying to shut me up. And if you guys have kids like this, if you have grandkids like this, if you're like this, why don't you listen to the message that keeps coming loud and clear and go use your gifts instead of letting your boss tell you you've got to get better at details, or your teacher tell you you're never going to make it in life if you don't figure out English. It's funny. I was helping Dave, and one thing I could do was write. I could write. I was helping Dave, and he was at a community college. Brooklyn was about 3 weeks old. He was working construction. He was gone Monday to Friday. He had a company truck. He had great benefits. We got a $295 check every week. He loved his boss. It was something we could depend on, right? But $300 a week, and that would be probably equivalent today to people that make like $800 or $900 a week. A company truck and insurance was one thing, playing it safe. Dave missed Brooklyn rolling over. Dave missed Brooklyn saying her first, word, whatever it was, or cooing. And there wasn't even FaceTime back then. I mean, we would talk on the phone at night, and I was at home and he was gone. And one day we were like, this is not our dream. See, you got to get really clear about what your values are, about what it is that you want. Because even if you're only 49 or 50, this week, last Sunday, we were hooking up a VersaSpa machine that I had bought, and I ran to the hardware store to get the plumbing stuff. Stood next to, it was actually 2 weeks ago, my music teacher. We talked about our grandkids. It was his grandson's birthday that week. He had retired from here, went to another town, took a risk, got a different teaching job. I had loved that. He directed all my kids in plays and music. He was my music teacher, living the dream. I wake up on Monday and see his obituary, sudden death. I was devastated. My daughter sent it to me. She said, oh my gosh, we had been to Callie's open house, and Callie had said, there were some teachers that not everybody liked and other teachers that everyone loved. She said, it's funny because I always loved all my teachers, and even the ones that might have been strict, they loved me. And I was like, I wonder why that was. And she goes, I don't know. And then she started talking about this particular teacher and how much she loved him and his wife. His wife was her art teacher. He was her music teacher. And then in a week, he's not here anymore. My daughter dated a kid for about 8.5, 9 years. And she went to school in a town that was 30 minutes from here, her junior and senior year. So we moved there into this big mansion. I knew it wasn't congruent with me. I didn't like it. It was in a cul-de-sac. It was 10,000 square feet. I wanted to come back here to our farm. So when we moved back, Callie would spend a lot of time in the afternoon and evenings at the parents' house of the kid that she was dating. And it's funny because I look back on that, and there were times where I would have an intuition and I would be like, well, I don't know if that makes sense or not. But about 2 years ago, they weren't dating anymore, and still great friends, never burn a bridge, still great friends. regardless of everything. And I was doing a convention, a trade show with CBD in Louisiana. And this guy had done so much, just really was always good to my daughter, loved her. The parents just loved her. And we're still friends today. In fact, the mom manages our retail stores in the mall. So family, friends. I had a pallet that needed shipped, and I thought in my heart, you know what? What I should do is have him drive the pallet. He could go visit his family. And in my mind, I was like, that's kind of awkward. Like, they're not dating anymore. Then I would have him take my car, take the pallet. And then when I get there, like there was just a lot of uncomfortable about it. But it seemed like the right thing to do. And it was a risk, right? I mean, driving the car all the way there and back, having to get a hotel for him, having to pay wages, having to pay gas, whatever. But I thought, yeah, this is what I should do. So I did. He drove down, dropped off my pallet, got to see his family for a week. And some people said, why would you do that? Like, that's awkward. What were you thinking? But you know what? You always follow your intuition. You always do what you think is the right thing to do. If it can serve other people, and don't think about your ego. Don't think about the past. Don't think about anything that's happened, hurt feelings, hard feelings, whatever. Always be the person that follows your intuition. I love the old bracelets. What would Jesus do? Because we literally should all be wearing those today. Everybody would be cleaning up their mouth. Everybody would be cleaning up their act. Everybody would quit arguing. Everybody would quit being so mean and judgmental. Ugh, just drives me crazy. But you know what I did? I said, take it down there, drop it off. You can have my car, drive back home. And then Dave flew there and met me. What's the difference if I put it on a pallet, paid $1,200, or gave someone $1,200 and sent them with my car? And he got to spend an amazing week with his family. So we didn't really talk anymore. I mean, our kids weren't dating. I didn't see him a lot. And I see his wife a lot. They're no longer together. But this week, he was on a breathing machine. He was in ICU. He was literally, he had some health challenges, had moved to be around his family and living the dream, moved to New Orleans where he always wanted to be. A week after he moved there, he has a stroke. It was devastating. I mean, it doesn't matter whether you're with your old company. It doesn't matter if you're with your old friends. It doesn't matter if you're with a previous situation or whatever. You guys think to yourself how short life is and always do the right thing, not worrying about what everyone else thinks. Today, he's not able to breathe on his own. He's on a machine. They say he'll not make it. And, I was on the phone with the woman that he lived with for 30 years yesterday. And, she was devastated. New baby is being born, her first grandchild. One son is there with the dad. One son is here having a baby. And this is a man that's 49 years old. And I'm telling you this story because we sat in the bleachers together. We raised our kids together. We took homecoming pictures together. We are both 49 years old. Dreams and goals inside of every single one of us, right? Never in my wildest dreams would I have thought that 2 years ago, he drove my vehicle to see his family, he hadn't seen his mom and all these people in years. They videoed it. They posted it. It was such a surprise. And I bet never once did he think that might be the last time I get to go just travel and have fun and see my family. Because you guys, people think about this. I have bills. I have a job. I can't take time off. That's going to be a risk. I don't know if I should go. I don't know if I should spend the money. I don't know, I haven't seen whatever you can say, talking yourself out of everything. I'm going to say this. When you have an intuition, go do it. Take the risk, jump, leap, do whatever you got to do. Stop playing it safe. My grandmother had a similar situation that this friend of ours is going through. And by the way, you guys, I posted a GoFundMe yesterday because I just felt so bad to think like his car and all of his stuff is here and things in storage, and he had just moved and the family's trying to make the payments and do all the things. And here's this person, not able to breathe on their own and most likely not going to pray for a miracle. But the odds are that they say, it's just a matter of time. All of us have only a matter of time. We just don't know when it is. And my grandmother, I never had a lot of grandparents live. Nobody ever lived over 70. But my grandma came to me every Friday to get her hair done. And she had a similar situation like our friend Rick. She had some high blood pressure. She smoked a lot. And one day I was with her and she said, I have a really bad headache. And we went up to the emergency room, and a couple hours later, she had had a stroke and basically went into a coma, and she never came out. And it really makes me think about, like, one minute we were at Merity's drinking a cup of coffee, the next minute we were at ER, and it was the same thing that this friend of ours is going through. They did a surgery because the blood was pushing up on her brain. And then they said if it pushes the brainstem through the brain, she's going to die. And then they put her on a machine, but she had a do not resuscitate order. And slowly, I sat there. Thank God for network marketing. I could spend 15 days by her bedside. And even though she had 7 children, none of them had the freedom to take off work and sit there every day. I was the grandkid. They were the children. And I was here in town able to be by her side because of direct sales and the risk that Dave took. When everyone else said play it safe, I was able to be there by her side. But you know what, you guys, it was hard because slowly watching someone, each organ was shutting down. And I can just remember sitting there and holding her hand. And the crazy thing is then when I did leave, I would go home and I would smell my hand because I could smell my grandma and I wanted back what was. And when we were listening to the Denzel Washington speech this week, he was quoting Les Brown. And he said, all of us are going to have a day where we're on our deathbed, where we're saying, who are these little angels all around me? One of them is all the songs that you never sang. One of them is all the trips that you never took. One of them is all the pictures that you didn't capture. One of them is all of the books that you never wrote. One of them is all the gifts that God put in you, whether you can paint or sing or dance or open a daycare or run a pet hotel or rescue dogs, or thinking of all the things that we've done that we know that we're good at, but we could have not done because it wasn't really why would you want to go do that? I can tell you every idea I've ever had, someone said, why in the world would you want to do that? In fact, I'm doing one right now, and half the people in our town are like, in Russell? What are you thinking? With that puke face, like they're just got a little bit of vomit in their mouth. And it just makes you laugh because you know what? It's not their dream. It's not their goal. They aren't the one doing it. But God puts dreams and goals in us because they're our gifts and they're the things that he's trying to encourage us to do. And then the enemy says, don't do it. The little guy on your shoulder, you better play it safe. You're not going to have benefits. You're not going to have retirement. You're not going to have friends. You might lose everything. And you know what, guys? I would rather lose everything and start over stronger than never take a risk and be stuck in a little box. And that's just me. But don't think about my grade point average. Here's what I would say about my grandma and the situation that I learned when I tell you this. Don't think about playing it safe and not risking any money or not spending anything. It was a Friday morning. We were having coffee. I had done her hair. She said, I really want to go to Topeka with my friends on that casino bus, but it's $79. And I said, really, Grandma? She said, yeah, $79. It's the bus. You get the meal. They're waiting on you to bring you back home. And she loved to play slot machines and smoke her cigarettes like they were going out of style. She said, but I don't know. I probably shouldn't go. And 7 kids divided up what she had left over. She had some money she never spent because she felt guilty going and doing what she wanted to do. And I always think to myself, go to the casino, go do what you love, get on the bus, take the trip, because she never got to go again. I think of 2 or 3 years ago, it was Dave's mom's birthday. And Dave said, you know what? I think I'm going to do something crazy for Christmas and my mom's birthday. I said, what are you going to do? She loves Barry Manilow. He said, I don't know if they'll go or not, but I'm going to buy her and somebody a ticket. The week in Las Vegas, the flights, the hotel, VIP, Barry Manilow, slot machine quarters back then. Like, whatever. And I remember him wrapping it up and he was like, I mean, it's a lot of money, but think of the experience. And never in a million years did we think that the next year Dave's mom would be diagnosed with a terminal disease and 90 days to live. And they say, celebrate Christmas early. There's no way she's going to make it. We're just buying time. Let me tell you, this next month in November, it will be 3 years since they said that. She works 10 to 12-hour days at our office every single day. She runs as fast as I do. Yesterday at 5 o'clock, we were both beat, and she's like, I think I'm going to call it a day. But I want to tell you guys something. It's not because she's not healthy. It's not because she's not going and blowing and doing everything that she wants to do every single day. She lost her eyesight in one eye. No way was she going to stop driving. She still will drive herself to work and work 8 or 10 hours a day, not let anyone label anything, not talk about being this person that's sick. She is absolutely healed and killing it. Here's the thing, you guys. You can't listen to the doctor's diagnosis. You can't listen to the news and the projections. You can't listen to what they say about the stock market and you buying a house or you starting a business or you making a move. You just got to go do what nobody else would be willing to do so that you yourself are writing the end of the story, not letting everyone else dictate it. When they told Cindy she was going to die, she said, you don't know my God and you don't know the people that my daughter and son-in-law are in business with. You don't know the products that I take and I am not listening to you. And I can remember when we got in the car, Brooklyn was mad as heck. Dave and I were like, man, she's in denial. Like, how do you not listen to a doctor that says your body's full of cancer? It's in your bones. It's in your belly. It's coming out of the back of your neck. It's in your colon. It's in your stomach. It's draining, liters of fluid right into your stomach. We're pumping them off every day, every week. And I mean, I'm not going to say she wasn't sick. She looked like she was dying. But in her mind, she said, it's not over till it's over. I'm not going anywhere. Let me tell you why that happened. Because she had a dream. We had a grandbaby coming. And this grandbaby was going to be her first great-granddaughter. And to be honest with you, it was Chance's baby. And Chance has always had a very special place in Nana's heart. Like, always. Like, he is her everything. And I remember her saying, I am going to see this baby be born. And I remember her telling her oncologist when he said, I might be able to buy you a year. She said, you get me 1 year, I'll get 5. She had a dream. She visualized, just like she did when she had cancer when Chance was born 25 years ago. She visualized seeing him graduate college. And this past time, when it happened 3 years ago, she visualized seeing the baby be born. There is a difference in dreams and dreams with goals. Because when you have a dream to live, your goal is, I'm going to take these supplements every day. I'm going to make sure I put frankincense in my armpit. I am going to make sure that I don't eat sugar. There's discipline. There is consistency. I'm going to make sure that I pray every single day. I'm going to make sure I don't say the negative things or listen to anyone else, no matter how scary it is. Every day I watched her goals, every day. Some people say, well, tell me what you did. And you know what Cindy usually says? I'll tell you, but I doubt you'll do it because it wasn't easy. Most people give up. Most people give up. And she wasn't going to give up. When I was listening to Denzel Washington, I was thinking, she's the lady that still had pictures to be taken, books to be written, lives to be changed, grandkids to be experiencing, trips that we're going to take eventually. How dare they say she's cancer-free, no more cancer, don't even need to see her for a year, and we're all on lockdown and can't go anywhere, right? That's what happened. But we're making the best of it. And I'll tell you guys, she works at it every single day. And if you plan to win, most people don't fail to plan. Most people don't plan to fail. They just fail to plan. Every single day, if you have dreams and goals and they're inside of you, you need an action plan of how you're going to make these things come to fruition. And hard work works, but you got to work hard. A lot of people, they're not willing to put in the consistency. They're not willing to go and do the right things long enough consistently. But just because you're doing a lot doesn't mean that you're getting somewhere. I have confused activity with accomplishment many times in my life. And at some point you have to look in the mirror and say, I can work really hard for all these people. I can work really hard for this company. I can work really hard at whatever it is that I'm doing. But if I'm not moving forward, I need to move somewhere where I can really grow and be and do and become the best version of me. It takes discipline. It takes consistent. But you got to have movement to get progress, you guys. If you're stuck, you got to get unstuck. You know, I can run in place all day long. And I did that for 4 or 5 years. I ran hard. 1 month, Dave and I were on the road 26 out of 30 days. But a year later, I was no further ahead than I had been the year before. In fact, maybe worse off. And then I remember saying, yeah, but everybody's following me. Like everybody's looking at me. Like these are my best friends. I love these people. I don't want to hurt their feelings. I mean, I don't want to burn any bridges. I don't want to have to start over. I don't want to have to take a risk. But the reality is God was sending me this message loud and clear. And finally, he just bumped me upside the head and said, here it is. I'm going to give it to you. It's all in a box. Go. And it's not easy, you guys, because sometimes we don't want to listen to God. We want to do it ourselves. We're praying for the right things. We're praying for the answers. We're praying for situations to be better or healing to happen or addictions to be gone or finances to be blessed or relationships to be restored. But God is showing us exactly how to do it, and we just don't listen. We just don't listen. So when you set goals and you accomplish them, here's what I would say to you. Be authentic, be transparent, and reach back and help somebody else. When God blesses your bank account, and I need discipline at this, give. You know, when God gives you more, get a longer table, not a higher fence. Never be selfish. Never have an ego. Never take things personally and be so bitter and resentful that you wish ill on other people. I hear people talk right now, and I have to really pray a lot, because people just like to say negative stuff. Right now is just a time in the world where there's just a whole lot of negative. And you know, if I'm going to say something and know that what I say, I'm going to get back 10 times. I'm going to be careful what I say. So some of you are laughing at me because a week ago or 2 weeks ago, I went to this pet place. And for some reason, I was talking about a negative situation that had happened with a lot of pain and a lot of hurt and a lot of heartbreak, and why I was never getting another dog. And within 24 hours, you guys, we lost our dog. 24 hours. This dog was just lost, nowhere to be found. Listen to me loud and clear. Every thought is a prayer. Every prayer is answered. Your words are things. Thoughts are things. What you say comes back at you 10 times, and you can't stop it because the universe hears what you say. It hears every word you say. When you say, I hate that presidential candidate, when you say, I hate that party, when you say, I hate that state, I hate that governor, I hate my competition, I hate that other company, I hope they fail, I hope they all fall off the face of the earth, I hope blah, 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 blah. I did this when I left a previous company, you guys, probably 6 or 7 years ago. It was ugly. It was brutal. I was hurt. In fact, not only was I hurt, like this lady attacked my children and went and did really hateful, really hurtful stuff on social media, put it in print. There was a lawsuit. Like it was ugly, like a bad, bad, bad divorce. It literally still going on 6 years later. Like there's just some people that will never give up, right? But I can remember saying, I'll get even. I can remember saying, I hate those people. I hope they fail. And I remember at one point in my life, after 3 or 4 years of suffering, and I was in a circle of people that was the only conversation they talked about. Everybody, everywhere, people would be like, oh, I read the lawsuit. The next person would say, oh, I see what they're doing. The next person would say, how's that going? Like it was the constant conversation. And one day I had a revelation. I prayed and I prayed that God would move me out of this chapter of hell, right? I had a child that was going through addiction. I I had one that was going through depression. I had one that was searching for purpose. I had a mother-in-law that was dying. I had a bank account that was dying. I had a relationship that was nothing but work. All Dave and I did was stress about survival. And I remember praying that God would just make a sudden shift. And I went to Dallas, Texas to an event. I'm not sure if I'll ever go to this event again, so don't think I'm promoting the event. But I went to this convention where there were a lot of successful network marketers and companies all on the stage. And the one thing that wasn't congruent with me was that I knew the truth, and I was listening to a lot of people on stage, and I was thinking, people paid good money. There's edification of these powerful people on stage. But I've been in the bathroom with these people. You know, I've heard the conversation at the sink with these people. I know these people. And you have to get common sense enough, no matter if you are a C student like me, to know that everything you read is not true. Everything you hear is not true. And most importantly, when it comes to money and it comes to power, people will have titles and be edified and paraded on stage and posted all over social media as giants in an industry for money. Because if they rub your back, you'll rub the next back. And it was almost like I was sitting there. I really wanted to puke, but there were some good people in the room, some really good friends of mine. And I asked a lady in the hallway, in the lobby. I remember a good friend of mine, Denny Robinson, was there, and we ate together. Margie Alaprandi was there. She's a rock star. Brian McMullen was there. He's always been a mentor to me. And they're all in different companies, but none of us have egos, so we can actually be happy for someone else's success, even if I don't make money from them and they don't make money from me. But there was a lady there that I had barely met. She owned a magazine that we were featured in. It was called Network Marketing Times. We were doing an interview. We went to dinner, and I told her, like, I have so bad of anxiety. I said, there's just so many uncontrollables, like my finances, this legal battle. My daughter was not doing good. My other daughter was not doing good. My son wasn't doing very good. My mother-in-law was dying. Our business was tanked. And I mean, you guys, I will tell you, honestly, I'm not afraid to tell you, I had failed in the worst way in so many departments. I felt like a bad wife, a bad mom, a bad business person, a bad network marketer. Like, I used to be that lady on stage, and all of a sudden, I didn't even want to be in the room in the industry, let alone on the stage. It was just yuck. I was heartbroken. I was empty. I was tired. That's the best way to explain it. I was tired. I did not have any dreams and goals. This was probably one of the most profound things anyone has ever told me, ever. She said, "Why do you hate these people?" Oh my God, I hated my daughter's ex-boyfriend at the time. I blamed and hated them so bad. And I remember thinking, like, I'm going to be the one that ends up with cancer because I'm so bitter, right? I couldn't get past it. Drop in the comments if any of you have ever been so hurt, so heartbroken, so done wrong song. I mean, so stolen from, beaten, hurt, slandered, like whatever, divorced, whatever you've been through. And you literally hurt so bad you hate someone. Here's what she said to me. God is trying to bless you in the midst of your failures. And you're so stuck on what happened that he can't bless you because all of your negative hate and resentment and not being willing to forgive is all the blessings are coming down, and just like a trampoline, they're bouncing back. Someone else is going to have them. Something else, it's never going to happen for you, Barb, because you can't attract any good because you're so focused on the bad. And I can remember thinking, how am I going to not hate these people? So it was funny. About an hour later, we got in an elevator, and lo and behold, they all got in the same elevator with me. The air was hard to breathe. My heart was pounding. I was worried that my husband might end up arrested because I figured he would just choke him out right there. But that didn't happen. We got off the elevator, and I literally released it. And she said to me, I want you to take yourself out of your body and put yourself in their shoes. And I want you to imagine that you are them. And I was like, wow, that would be scary. And at the time I was being very judgmental And she said, imagine how they must feel being them and they've lost you. I want you to imagine the fear. What fears do you think they might have that they would have said those things about you, taken the action, done the things they did? She said, I want you to quit thinking about yourself. Make yourself a little butterfly, put yourself in their body and imagine. Tell me the emotions that you think they feel on an average day. You don't know what they've been through. You don't know how they were raised. You don't know why certain people are so dysfunctional. And I was thinking about my daughter's boyfriend, ex-boyfriend at the time. And oh my gosh, there was no way that I could forgive him. There was no way that, this kid had grown up in my house and I had loved him and raised him. And then he had just made these decisions that I was like, how could you do that? And I was so angry and I was so bitter. And mostly, you guys, I think I was so disappointed that quit expecting other people to be you. Like, that's what she said. Quit expecting everyone else to be you and love them how they are. She said, every time you think how much you hate this person because of your failures, because of the decisions that you made that allowed them to do what they've done to you. She said, I want to tell you something, Barb. God has a plan for you in your life, and he's trying to move you, and you won't move. Yes, hurting people hurt others, 100%. She said, have you ever read the 4 Agreements? I've read it 100 times. But do any of you know what's in this book? Because your failures were actually there to bless you. One of my life coaches, who I love, Maxandra Desrosiers, she's one of my best friends, and she does coaching. I'll drop her link in the comments. She said, Barb, quit trying to change your kids' hurts. Quit trying to change their failures. Quit trying to change their bad decisions. That's God's journey for them, just like he let you fail in front of everyone in your small town. How do you think your mom and Cindy felt when you were losing everything, filing bankruptcy, a financial disaster? She goes, God was molding you. That's the only way he could use you for the next 25 years in the network marketing industry, in business, in speaking and coaching and writing your own book. Had that never happened, he never could have used you. And you guys, if I had known then what I know now, my daughter has been clean for 1 year and a month. It was 4 years of hell. The enemy tried to take her time. He tried to take her life. He tried to take her reputation. He tried to take our relationship. He tried to destroy everything good that I loved. But today, she is using her gifts and her talents and her story and changing more people's lives than she ever could have, even being top 10 in her class, even being the girl in the front in the dance, at the college on the court. She's amazing. And God had to allow her to go through trials and tribulations and failures and mean people posting horrible things about her all over in order for her to gain the strength and be conditioned to really, really, really win. She does direct sales, and she doesn't do our company. She does her own little thing. She loves our patches. She loves our products, but she found her niche. And it's funny because last month she was one of 10 to be entered to get a Peloton. She was one of 10 as a top leader. She's on a Zoom every night for an hour, changing people's lives with addiction every night, 5 days a week. Like, this girl is on her own journey. But 4 years ago, I didn't even know if I wanted to live. I hurt so bad because I couldn't handle seeing my kids struggle. That day, Josephine Gross said, Barb, take yourself, you can't be hating on the ex-boyfriend and have good things come to your life. You're going to end up sick. She said, it's their journey. She said, every time you think about the previous company you were in and how mean the person might be, all love. Take their name out of your house. Take their name out of your vocabulary. Stop talking about them. Stop gossiping. Stop participating. If someone else starts talking about them, say, stop. We don't say that name in our house. So we stop saying the name of our past company. We stop saying the name of the people from our past. We stop talking about the ex-boyfriend. We stop talking about the things we didn't want. We stop saying the word cancer. We stop saying the word addiction. We stop saying the word blah, blah, blah that I won't even say. And we literally changed our financial future. We changed our health. We changed our relationship. We changed our children changed. Everything changed. Cindy got well. My daughter got well. Our finances exploded. God wanted me in an industry that wasn't even network marketing. He took me out of network marketing, put me focused on our CBD manufacturing business. And even though I lost over $100,000 a month, we started having volume like that come into our account in a week. We were doing millions of dollars in sales, and God the whole time was like, listen, listen, listen. Like, I'm trying to move you so you can change people's lives over here. And I wouldn't listen. And then later, there came an opportunity to get back into the industry just like crazy. And once again, I wouldn't listen because I was afraid to fail, afraid to hurt someone's feelings, afraid of what other people might think, afraid of losing a friend, afraid of rocking the boat, afraid of taking a risk. And when you move, you guys, when you move, God will move. Today, things are amazing. I don't worry about failing. In fact, every month I think, what can I do that scares me? A couple months ago, my son was at home. My sister listed a salon that I gave her. 2002, we opened a salon together called 7th Street Salon. And when Dave and I opened our own company, Lavinity, I pretty much gave her the salon. I stepped out. She ran the salon since 2006. It's been all her. And amazing building, amazing salon, amazing clientele. Just, she's an amazing person. She does nails and toes. Just kind of wanted to focus on her kids, not be so busy, not manage the salon. And she listed it. And it was during quarantine, and Chance and Daisy were home. And I remember them saying, let's buy the salon. I was like, okay, they want to buy the salon. They can run the salon. She might run the salon, like whatever. I didn't really think much about it. I was just like, that sounds fun. Let's do it. And I remember looking at the building as an investment because I need to find investments, right? Like, don't blame me if you listen to the presidential campaign debate the other day. Not that any of us could listen to anything because they were both screaming at each other the whole time. But, you know, there are tax advantages, and it's not bad if you make some money to invest in ways that you know that you're going to get tax credits. So I need to invest. I need tax credits. I need properties. So on a whim, I said, let's buy the building. And then pretty soon Chance and Daisy were like, and Russell, I don't know. That's scary. I don't know about that. But it wasn't about me running a salon at the time. It was about the property. Like, if you have goals financially, how are you going to grow from where you're at to where you want to be without making some investments? You're going to have some stocks. You're going to have to buy some properties. You're going to have to invest in some business. You're going to have to do something with your money, right? So I took this risk. And about a week later, I was like, what in the heck have I done? And about 2 weeks later, I was like, oh my God, this is more than I ever thought it would be. And a month later, I'm like, that was a good decision. But you guys, the decision was exciting, but it was scary. And some people don't have any uncertainty in their life. They don't have any goals. They don't have any dreams. There's nothing that they're like, oh my gosh, I want to do that. I think I'm going to go do it. Instead, they're like, I should do that, but I should have done that when I was younger. I should have done that before coronavirus hit. I should have bought a house then. I should have moved then. No, do it now. Because you might be like my friend that's on life support next week. A week ago, he was watching football on tapes with his son. Really, you guys, he was up walking. He was rebounding. Not today. 2 weeks ago, my music teacher was in the hardware store. He's not there today. Callie's boyfriend's mom was driving home 2 nights ago and had been doing amazing. Had a seizure, totaled her car, and they called me in hysterics 48 hours ago, driving to Kansas City. She's okay. She lived. Thank you, God. But you guys, in an instant, anything can happen. Anything can happen. And if you're waiting for the right conditions, you're waiting for who gets president, you're waiting for coronavirus to go away, you're waiting to decide if you're going to be able to go back to school or take the trip or get the degree or open the business, I'm just going to say to you, do it. Just do it and fail. Because what Josephine Gross said to me that made so much sense, she said, God has a plan for you anyway. He knows every hair in your head. He knows everything that's going to happen in your life anyway. You trying to change it is stupid. Like, just make decisions. When you come to crossroads, just make the best decisions so that you can be directed to the next blessing and the next blessing and the next blessing. But if you're talking shit on everybody and you're discussing all the negative and you're being judgmental and opinionated and full of hate, I don't care. Honestly, you guys, I don't care if you're God or the president of the United States. What is inside of you comes out, and you get more of it back 10 times. So you've got to look in the mirror and say, what are my beliefs? What am I going to be congruent with? What do I want to attract into my life? What do I want to do to impact and change other people's lives? And how can I be the best version of me, not being afraid, not sitting here, not using what I was born to do, but just going out and doing it, regardless of what anyone thinks. And I would say if you do that, you're going to be happier than you've ever been, and you're going to have more success than you've ever had. Pick one thing and do it really good. The one thing I see is these people that they get in network marketing and then they're like, oh, I think I'm going to do a little bit of this. I think I'm going to do a little bit of that. No, whatever you're going to do, sell out and be good at it, because nobody likes a wishy-washy person, and nobody wants to get in business with someone that's a freak. And the freak is the person that doesn't really know what they want. Like, plant your flag, make your stake, say, this is what I'm doing, that's it, period, and quit trying to have something to fall back on, because everyone sees that you're not 100% committed where you're at. Be committed where you're at. My husband does a speech called Burn the Ships, and people literally thought it meant burn the previous company. It didn't. What it meant was that the general said, burn the ships, because we're not going to have failure be an option. And that's what you have to do. You have to make a decision, be very bold about what you're doing. Let people know what you believe in. I'm not talking about politics and religion either, because that just pisses off half the people. Half the people are this, half the people are that, and nobody's going to win an argument. So take the high road. Let them all think how they want to be, perplexed and hateful and not congruent, and you just pray. Just pray. Just be the person that doesn't have to talk negative, doesn't have to be part of the problem. If everybody would just get it together and say, what do we really want? How can we best accomplish this instead of having to be right? See, that was my problem when Josephine took me in the lobby. I wanted to be right. I wanted to be right about the ex-boyfriend. I wanted to be right about the previous company. I wanted to win the lawsuit. I wanted to be able to tell people that I was right and they were wrong. And one day I realized that's why people get sick. That's why people have bad things happen to them, because they're so focused on this negative vibe that it keeps coming back at them 10 times. And I'm not a slow learner, you guys. I'm not a slow learner. I wanted to get off the struggle bus. I was tired of hurting. I was tired of worrying. I had never had anxiety in my life. And it was to the point my doctor thought I had AFib. They said, we're going to give you this, and if it helps you, then we know it's not AFib, it's just anxiety, because my heart would literally feel like it was going to pound out of my chest. And I will tell you guys today, I don't have the anxiety. I don't have the hate. I don't have the anger. I am not worried about the outcome, because I know that God already has the battle won. I need to take myself out of the equation. I need to quit spending time and energy worrying about anything, and just know that I know that my God has a plan for my life, just like he has a plan for your life. And he's trying to direct you. And you keep coming up with excuses and reasons and fears and what ifs and but you don't know, Barb, but you don't know, but you don't know. And Les Brown says, get your but out of the way and go listen to the intuition that is right inside of you. God is not some creature up in the sky, you guys. God is within. Enthusiasm is God within us. And ego is us edging God out. And people with an ego struggle. People who are humble and they listen and they want to serve and they just want to be the best version of themselves that they can be. God will bless your life in ways that you never, ever imagined. I know sometimes we're like, I'm tired of waiting. I can't go through this anymore. But the hardest part for me to realize, you guys, is that I was attracting it all. I was attracting all of the hurt. I was attracting all of the struggle. I was attracting all of the attacks on me, because we become what we think about most of the time. And all I ever thought about was being the victim. All I ever thought about was being the disappointed mother, or, thinking about being the person that got done wrong or hurt or betrayed. And I was just so full of resentment and hate that I couldn't attract the good. And one day, when she said, every time you think of them, think all love, all love, all love, all love, all the time, all love, all the time. They are God's child. You are God's child. It doesn't matter what they did, no matter how bad. If they murdered someone, raped someone, shot someone, whatever they did, it doesn't matter, because in God's eyes, we're all his children, and it's all viewed the same. So when you talk crap on them, he's looking at you saying, you're no better. She said, watch your mouth, watch your words, watch your thoughts, and you will see a transformation happen in your life. And you guys, it was hard. I got a rubber band. I snapped it every time I thought negative about anyone, and I thought all love all the time. And I can't thank God enough for all the blessings that have happened in my life. My mother-in-law was healed. The grandbaby is the most wonderful thing, all three of them. Our business, our friendships, our relationships, everything. There was a sudden shift where God just said, the minute you get off the throne and you quit thinking that you're God, I'll take charge if you'll let me. I got on my knees, I prayed, and I listened, and I'm telling you guys, prayers will be answered, but every thought is a prayer. Every thought is a prayer. Every word you speak is a prayer, and you get what you think and say. So start talking about the things you want to come to fruition, even if it sounds crazy. Money's coming at me from all directions. I don't know where it's coming from. I just accept it. Say, my health is restored. It feels amazing to be so healthy. My kids are making good decisions. My kids are healthy. My kids are happy. My business is exploding. Everybody is getting in. I love what I do. My relationship is good. My marriage is awesome. My bank account is stacked. The safe is full. Say things like this, right? Say it, and it will happen to you guys. So I hope you guys have a great day. We got to go jump on our company Zoom. There is a party training going on today, and I definitely need to learn how to do online parties. So I'll see you guys all next week at 9 a.m. No Guts, No Story. I hope you make it a record-breaking week. And don't be afraid to fail forward and quit worrying about having something to fall back on, because you have everything you need to be hugely, obscenely successful and rich beyond your wildest dreams.